Welcome back to another IPS Film Room, and today we are looking at Darrion Williams and his play in the game against Georgia Tech. And we're going to look at a way I believe NC State needs to use him more offensively as a hub and potentially as a scorer. And we're starting here with just some of his shots in the game against Georgia Tech. He went 2 for 11 from the field in this game, some dribble handoffs. He wasn't very efficient from 3, 1 for 6. You still want him taking that volume from 3. But I think the key for NC State is figuring out a way to get him some easy opportunities and also create some easy opportunities within the offense. You see here, he gets another one. He gets the ball, and he starts to kind of get a little isolation. And this is kind of a glimpse of what I want to see, but maybe less of that. And that right there was more of a back into a mid-post, and then you take a mid-range jumper. And I think he kind of bails out a smaller defender here. I think if he works more to the baseline, he's probably going to get a better look. Georgia Tech is even gapping and helping. You may have a pass open up, but instead he takes a mid-range jumper. And I think there's far too many of these types of shots we're seeing from Williams, not enough easy twos. And so if you're NC State, you need to look for ways to try and get him some easy two-point opportunities. And I think even here, working on the block, because that's where I want to go. This feature is going to mainly be about posting him up and how you can create shots for himself and shots for others. Now, what Williams has to do, he has to make the right decisions. And on this one, he draws help. And he tries a step-back jumper, and really the pass probably should have been to Quadir Copeland in the corner. Now, I think if you're Copeland, you might want to work more to the corner versus the slot. You see him up here at the top of the key, or at the top of the wing, or top of the screen. He should be working more to the corner versus the slot to give a better passing angle, but instead he's floating out more to the slot, which is allowing this defender here inside to maybe still get a hand on that. And so you see Williams take a tough contested 2 there. It's not really the shot you want to have, I don't think, if you're NC State from him. But still, I like working him more on the block. I think he gives you an opportunity to try and get him some touches. You see another one here from him where he gets to his spot. He's now working around, moving around the formation or the offense, trying to get a look, get some different dribble handoffs. And this was, for me, probably one of the better offensive actions for NC State because they're trying multiple ways to get him a touch. And you finally get him in ideal posting position. And this is what I'm saying. When you're looking for him as a scorer, very few times is he getting the ball at this spot. And you can see right here, that is low on the block with a smaller offensive player on him where he can seal, turn, and finish. As a scorer, I think he needs to be touching it there. I think he needs to be touching it there as a scorer versus, I think, playing higher from the mid-post or even out to the three-point line. But this entire offensive possession was a lot of trying to get Darrion Williams touches and get it to him in a spot. And I give him credit here. Like, this is where he is. He was much more patient on this possession. He didn't settle. He kept moving, kept working. He eventually got a mismatch. You see him directing traffic, wanting to get the ball down low, and that's a really good entry from Vin Allen Lubin. And he's able to turn and finish with his right hand there on the left block. Now, I think if you're NC State, one of the advantages to playing him here is you can post him up. And you can get offense out of posting him up. And we're going to look at his 4 assists in this game, or 4 of his assists that he created working off the post as a mid-post player. And you see the first one right here. Early in the game, NC State's down 12-6, and it doesn't have to start with him on the block. Just having the ball. When I talk usage, you want to give him the ball early so he can get to his spot. He comes off this kind of ghost screen, and now he can back his man down a little bit, and he's just kind of waiting to draw help, works to get in the paint, draws 2, and he's able to get the drop-off pass to Vin Allen Lubin for a dunk. That's really easy, efficient offense. Here you have another one here early in the game. NC State gets a strip from Williams, or Williams gets a strip, and he's bringing the ball up the court. Actually, this is more of him kind of working off the wing, and it's not really a true post up. It's more of an isolation, but it's still allowing him to get some shot creation. He works to the baseline. He gets the drift man in the corner for a knockdown 3 from Allen Breed. Again, usage, the ball in his hands. Here's another one. This is out of a baseline out of bounds play, where NC State's able to get him the ball in the low block. And you look at him, and he turns right away, and you see him survey. Right? When he gets this ball here, he's looking to see what Georgia Tech's trying to do defensively. And so, no help right away. He starts to go to his dribble, He's waiting to draw help. He's waiting to draw help. He draws two from the bottom man, and this is a really good pass. A nice wraparound pass to Musa Sanya. I think if you can allow him to get deeper into the paint and draw that five-man, we've seen him now do it twice. One earlier, we watched it earlier, the one to Van Allen Lubin, where he got into the middle, drew the five-man, and dropped off to Lubin. Now you see this one where he gets into the paint and he drops off to Musa Sanya for a reverse dunk. I think that's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot right there where he can draw help from the big and look to find his big, whether that's in a dunker spot or playing right by the rim. And that's a nice finish there from Sanya. Here's another one out of a baseline, out of bounds, similar set. He gets the ball here, and they're running a stagger screen for Paul McNeil, and you get a wide open three-point opportunity out of a baseline, out of bounds play. So you saw a lot of shot creation for not just himself, but also others from Darrion Williams when he had the basketball in his hands. And again, we can run through these again here quickly. You see him now, again, working to his spots, getting to on the post, drop off to Van Allen Lubin for a dunk. Early touches for him. We did a film room a couple weeks back looking at ways State could get him involved because he had been struggling. This is kind of a reboot on that. And what are you seeing from a couple of these? He has the ball early in his hands, works the baseline here. Nice baseline drift pass to Alan Breed for a knockdown three. But I think he's probably at his best still working in the post. NC State has to find a way to generate offense outside of just Quadir Copeland high ball screen. And one of the more efficient ways to do it is to allow Williams to work on the post. And I know for a lot of people, seeing him post up, they're concerned because they're worried about the shots that he may get and that he's struggling finishing around the basket. And he doesn't always struggle to finish around the basket. We know posting up's not necessarily always an efficient way to score the basketball. But I think it's more about, can you get it to him in spots where he can score early? If you want him to score, get him the ball in a spot like this, where he can catch it on the low block against a smaller defender, and he can turn and finish. And so I think for NC State, they're going into a big game here coming up against Clemson. I think more Darrion Williams, I continue to say this, the better. We're talking about a player who right now for NC State, when his usage is above 26% on the season, I believe NC State's 8-1 right now, and it was below that in the loss to Georgia Tech. It had been above that in the two previous wins at Boston College and Florida State. So if you're State, get him back on the basketball, and I think you either get in the ball early, like we're seeing right here in this clip, where you can allow him to create for others, or you get him the ball in the low post, where he's able to work on the block and find his teammates for easy shot opportunities.